If a mechanic is so particular to inspect every part and principle belonging to a steam engine for the purpose of getting good results, can you, as an engineer, omit any bone in the body and claim to be a trustworthy engineer? Can you say that any part has no importance physiologically in this, the greatest engine ever produced, the engine of human life?
The school was founded on providing quality physicians for rural areas of West Virginia. And, 50 years later, we are the #1 provider in West Virginia, the Appalachian region, and the country. And I think it's because of our focus on osteopathic medical education. Ultimately, it's all about people. We're here to serve others. We're here to make the lives of people better.
Heaven.
Opportunity.
I would say fantastic.
Green.
Phenomenal. Maybe phenomenal.
Resilient.
I would say beginning.
Quality.
Excellence.
Can't do it. It's all multifaceted. Life's complex.
I don't think I have a one word. I mean, it was a good 4 years experience. I'm still very happy with my career without any burnout. Something happened that was good.
Transforming.
Family.
Family.
Caring and family, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I would say, family.
Well, I'm just going to go with the word that just jumped into my head when you asked that question, which is family.
Family. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Dr. Foster.
Yes?
What are the benefits of osteopathic medicine?
Well, osteopathic physicians, they treat the whole person. That is, and that's often said that they're holistic, but what it means is they care about you mind, body, and spirit. And they will pay attention to the self-healing properties of your body, which are, built in, given by Creator. And we really focus on how to help the body heal itself as opposed to intervening externally from medications and other things. So if we can help your body heal and be well and find wellness, that's really the key to osteopathic difference.
There are so many memories from that first class because, we were winging it, okay? We put together our own stools for the histology lab. Back then, there were no computer screens, and we didn't have personal computers. A computer was a big thing that was as big as this wall that had the reels turning and you got ticker tapes. What we had were microscopes. Your microscope was sitting on a tabletop and you needed a stool to sit on to look in the microscope. So Dr. Sharp took us in there and there were all these cardboard boxes with stools in them, and we tore into them and put them together with Elmer's glue. And then we each had a stool to look in our microscope. We painted our own classroom. I remember not having any heat and sitting there with your winter coat and gloves on trying to take notes because we didn't have computers then. Dr. Jim Deering and I designed our diplomas. They just asked for ideas and Jim and I got together and designed this. It's the only diplomas like it. So there's 33 of them.
Life-changing.
Excellent.
Wow, might be a good word. It's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Family.
Compassionate.
Community.
Okay, I would have to go with family.
I'd have to say awesome.
Holistic.
Home.
Progressive. Oh, that would be easy. It's family. Peaceful.
Excellent.
Closeness, close-knit.
Can I get 2 words?
Sure.
My rock. My foundation.
If you're going to use one word, you got to use family. I mean, everybody says that, but it's true.
Dr. Foster, how would you describe the community of Lewisburg?
I'd call it family. It's an interesting place because it's in the middle of Appalachia, a very conservative part of the country in many ways, but the people are all real and alive, and they pay attention to each other, they care about each other. It's really a very welcoming and comfortable place to be. No matter what your background, no matter what your intentions and plans are, you'll find everyone here is interested in you and your journey and your life in this community. So it's not about them, it's really about us.
call it the O School, the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, right in the heart of the coolest small town in America, Lewisburg. Yes, we value education, and yes, we know how to play. As one of the nation's top-ranked medical schools, we think you'll love this place. Because we've been doing this for a while, for 50 years to be exact. So who takes responsibility for the next generation of doctors in osteopathic medicine? We do.
everyone join us in standing for the national anthem? Please take your seats. Welcome, class of 2026, family, friends, distinguished guests, faculty, and staff to the 2022 West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine Convocation and White Coat Ceremony. It is my honor to introduce the president of WVSOM, Dr. James Nemitz.
Thank you, Dr. Scopa-Kelso. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's so great to see everybody. Good afternoon to our distinguished guests, students, faculty, staff, family members, and friends. And welcome to those families and friends who could not be here with us in person and hopefully are watching this event streamed live. Welcome. We are so very proud of our first-year students, as I know you are too. Welcome to the 2022 Convocation and White Coat Ceremony on our beautiful campus here in Lewisburg, West Virginia. This afternoon, we gather to welcome the newest members of our school, the students of the class of 2026. I hope everyone is well and that we are getting back to a new normal. I appreciate everyone wearing masks and abiding by our protocols while on campus. I would like to take a moment at this time to recognize those on the platform with me, and I ask, please stand when I call your name, and I ask the audience to please hold your applause until I have finished introducing everyone. So first, Robert Holstein, DO, Chair of the Board of the Governors of the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, and a member of the second graduating class, the class of 1979. Our keynote speaker, Ryan Newell, DO, WVSOM class of 1999. Manuel Ballas, DO, President of the WVSOM Alumni Association class of 1993. Linda Boyd, DO, WVSOM's Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean. Rebecca Scopa-Kelso, PhD, WVSOM Faculty Chair. Dante Battioli, OMS 2, President of the WVSOM Student Government Association, and Samantha D. Martino, OMS 2, Vice President of the WVSOM Student Government Association. And joining these individuals on the stage are WVSOM's Associate and Assistant Deans. If you could please stand as well. Please join me in welcoming these individuals. You can take your seat. I also want to recognize and thank the faculty for their participation and assistance in coding our students for today's ceremony. To the faculty. You know, I would be remiss if I did not recognize several very important groups of people. It's more than several, actually. It's amazing how much gets put into doing a ceremony like this. It takes months of preparation and lots of hands. And without whom, this ceremony would not be possible. Their work and preparation, put forth on countless little details, will make this afternoon's celebration a success. So, everyone, please join me and hold your applause. It's a fairly long list. And thanking our maintenance and housekeeping staff, the audiovisual productions, marketing and communications and IT departments, the president's and dean's office staff, the staff of the preclinical and predoctoral education offices, the Office of Student Life, the staff of the WVSOM Alumni Association and Foundation, the SGA officers, and all the other volunteer staff members and the employees that participated in the Welcome Gauntlet. And then in addition to Dr. Boyd, I'd like to acknowledge the VPs who are working this event, Dr. Ed Bridges, Leslie Bixler, Linda Arnold, and Larry Ware. Again, we thank all of these people for the work that they do day in and day out, but especially for their preparation for today. If I could just lead that applause. I also want to acknowledge the WVSOM Alumni Association for providing your white coats and the WVSOM Foundation for the embroidery that personalizes your coats. Members of the class of 2026, our convocation white coat ceremony not only welcomes you to the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, but it also welcomes you into the community of osteopathic physicians. We are gathered here today because of the dedicated hard work of people who came before us. We stand here on the shoulders of giants, our founders, Drs. Apgar, Bales, Newell, and Wallington. Our first president, Dr. Roland Sharp, and many, many others. This year is particularly special because it's the 50th anniversary of WVSOM's founding. The founders recognized a need for physicians to serve rural West Virginia, and they bought this campus, which was the campus of the Greenbrier Military School. That's why the main building looks like a fort. And began the transformation that was to become the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. We have come a long way since those modest beginnings. The many changes, examples would be the many changes to the campus from a handful of buildings to the incredible facilities that we have now. The growth of our faculty and staff from just a handful of people to over 300. The continued evolution of our curriculum, keeping up with the latest medical advances to enable our graduates to be the best osteopathic physicians they can be. And fulfilling our mission to serve first and foremost West Virginia by populating just about every single small town and city of this state with highly competent, caring, dedicated physicians who serve their communities. But I tell you, we are more than that. We have become more than that. We now have WVSO alums in every state, practicing in every specialty and subspecialty. We have a growing research and sponsored program enterprise because of the good work of our faculty and staff. And we are making a difference in the lives of others through our many community engagement programs. It has truly been a remarkable 50 years, but I am excited to see what the next 50 will bring, especially as we welcome our newest students, the class of 2026, to our institution. You, the members of the class of 2026, now enter into this rich tradition, and you will become a part of WVSOM's legacy. The white coat symbolizes the beginning of your 4-year journey into the osteopathic medical profession. You will need to earn that coat every day. It comes with awesome responsibilities and obligations to your community here at the school, but also to society as a whole. So work hard, class of 2026, but also remember to take care of yourselves. Remember what I told you that first week. I hope you're paying attention to that. Take care of your mind, body, and spirit as you go through your studies. It's so very important. Have a vision for yourself. See yourself as the osteopathic physician that you will become. And congratulations. Now, I would ask the deans, all the deans and all the faculty to please stand. Class of 2026, these are the individuals who will work tirelessly to help you earn your white coat. Please join me in thanking them for all of their hard work. You know, and you can take your seat now. Thank you. And just as important to you is your support system of family members and friends, some of whom are here today with you, hopefully, to help you meet the demands of obtaining a medical education. If the class of 2026 could please stand and express your thanks for their continuing support of your efforts. Okay, you can please take your seats. And now I would like to introduce our first speaker. Please welcome the chair of the WVSOM Board of Governors, Dr. Bob Holstein.
Well, welcome, class of 2026, on this most auspicious occasion when you receive your cherished white coat, the coat of honor. This year also marks, as Dr. Nimitz has said, the historic 50th anniversary of the founding of the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. You are now a part of history. Had I been granted the privilege of doing so, I would have written boldly on the sleeves of your white coat, knowledge on the right sleeve, and compassion on the left. During your experience at WVSOM, may you gain the knowledge that is required of you to move forward in the osteopathic profession, passing your boards and being granted licensure to practice medicine. A cherished companion to knowledge is compassion. May you cling to the sense of compassion that arises from your most innermost being. It was that first sense of compassion that no doubt motivated many of you to pursue a career in medicine. A physician possessing a wealth of knowledge, but who lacks compassion, is empty and hollow. Finally, I would have written wisdom across the back of your shoulders, connecting knowledge and compassion. For on your shoulders, you will bear the challenge and responsibility of serving others with the knowledge of medical science delivered with a heart of compassion and accompanied by wisdom needed to most effectively care for the needs of others. On behalf of the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine Board of Governors, congratulations, class of 2026,
wear your white coat proudly, and yes, I admit, I'm the one that put the sign on the back of your white coat that says, "Kick me." May God bless you, and may God bless WVSOM.
Well, thank you, Dr. Holstein. Next, please welcome the president of the WVSOM Alumni Association, Dr. Manuel Ballas, DO.
Good afternoon, everybody. And it's a Friday afternoon. You guys have to be excited. I understand this is a free weekend for you. You're not going to get many of those anymore, so. But I bring you greetings and salutations from the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine Alumni Association. You've all graduated undergraduate school. You all understand what alumni associations are. Please understand that the WVSOM Alumni Association is here to serve and support its alumni, its students, and the school. That is our prime objective. Dr. Holstein, who is always a hard person to follow because he is so eloquent in how he speaks, he usually tells more jokes. Dr. Nimitz mentioned that you all have white coats and they were courtesy of the Alumni Association. That's one of the projects that we do, as well as give out scholarships, grants, provide CME for our doctors. But Dr. Holstein mentioned, or Dr. Nimitz mentioned that the coats were part of the Alumni Association. Well, you're really looking at the two most important reasons you have those coats on this stage. Number one, Dr. Holstein and I started the White Coat Club back when we were both, before he got rich and famous, we were both on the Alumni Association, and we started that. Now, he's going to tell you he was first, but he wasn't, I was. That is just one of the things. You'll find out while you're here. There are grants that we try to provide for students, for the teaching faculty. It takes everybody. It takes everybody, and you have the greatest people in the world here in staff, in faculty, administration. You got one of the greatest presidents this school will ever have. The Alumni Association, we're all here to help you. But remember, you have to do all the work. We're here to help you. It's going to be a long road. It's going to be a hard road. But I'm going to tell you a funny story. I came to WVSOM when I was 36 years old. And I spent 15 years working in a steel mill. And we bought that steel mill just before I left. And we had a motto that was helping us to get forward and to buy that. And as we were the largest producer of tin plate in the world, the motto was, "We can," in capital letters, "do it." Well, it was just awfully exciting and funny when I came here, because the motto here was, "You can," in capital letters, "DO it." And you can, but it's going to take a lot of work. And you got a lot of people and your families and the people here to help you get to that point. So from the WVSOM Alumni Association, we wish you good luck. We wish you much, much success. God bless you all. And remember, it takes, just as it takes a community to raise a person, it takes all of us to help you, but you got to be in there fighting with us. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ballas. So it is my privilege and honor to have with us today Ryan Newell, DO. Dr. Newell is a West Virginia native and a graduate of the WVSOM class of 1999 after earning a BS degree from West Virginia University. He completed a family medicine residency at the Charleston Area Medical Center and then joined the Fayette Clinic in Lochgelly, hopefully I pronounced that right. He'll let me know if I did, West Virginia. It's near Oak Hill. To practice with his father, Don Newell Jr., D.O., who is here with us, and his wife, Lisa Trent Newell, D.O., at this clinic. And Lisa also graduated in the class of 1999. The thing about the Fayette Clinic, which is now part of the Access Health system in the state, is this is the clinic that Ryan's grandfather, Don Newell Sr., D.O., started in 1969. Dr. Newell Sr. is one of the giants I was talking about earlier. He's one of our founders. He was one of those visionaries who saw the need and then did something about it and helped to create our school. So to recap, our keynote speaker today is not only the grandson of one of our founders, he is a third-generation osteopathic physician serving West Virginia, is married to a WVSOM graduate. They met here while they were students. And Lisa's dad, Daniel Trent, D.O., is an alum as well. And there are other extended family members who are part of this school. Dr. Newell Sr. Dr. Newell Jr. walked these grounds when it was a military school. So they are an inspiring example of a number of very strong DO families that have served West Virginia for decades and with distinction. And I'm so honored to be that the Newells are with us today. You know, I had the great pleasure of teaching Ryan and Lisa gross anatomy a long time ago. They did well. Dr. Ryan Newell went on to, he served for 20 years as a board, is still serving as a board-certified family medicine physician, and Lisa also serves the state as well in a different capacity. But Ryan has served on a number of boards, he's currently serving as the vice president for the WVSOM Alumni Association Board. He lives in Charleston, West Virginia with Lisa and their 4 children, Tucker, Trent, Ella, and Owen. And I was, just thrilled when Dr. Newell accepted my invitation to give this keynote address. Because I can't think of a better person on the occasion of our 50th anniversary to both share some things with you from the past, but I think more importantly, to talk about his career and what he has accomplished and the lessons he's learned along the way. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Ryan Newell, D.O.
Dr. Nimitz, platform guests, family of the class of 2026, my wife Lisa, my parents Donald and Darlene, class of 2026, welcome. It's been 26 years since my convocation. It feels like 3 or 4. This place is special. Lifelong friendships have started here. I met my wife here. Right from the beginning, I want to answer a question that you might be thinking. Why listen to me? What's this talk about? It's a fair question. When I was in your seat 26 years ago, I was thinking the same thing. Do I listen to the guy in the robe and a funny hat? Or do I silently check out and go through the crib cycle one last time in preparation for next week's test? What are his qualifications? What's the meaning, relevance, and value of his talk? How does it pertain to me? I'm going to give you the courtesy of an answer up front. In fact, I have 3 good reasons. Number one, I'm going to tell you some stories about the early days of the school from my personal lens. You won't find these in textbooks. I'm going to pull some skeletons out of the old family closet. Though I think these stories are entertaining, I think it's important to understand our origin, our history, where we came from. When I put this talk together, I realized that there was two fundamental aspects of life that our founders had to wrestle with: fear and uncertainty. We don't like to talk about fear and uncertainty, especially with our culture. We tend to tamp that down. But think about it. Anytime anything special ever happens, fear and uncertainty are there. Our founders had to deal with it because they were doing something remarkable. You will have to deal with this because you're doing something remarkable. And the last reason, and arguably the most important, is there's a white coat on the other end of this talk. So you're stuck for now. I'm going to encourage you to be in the moment. We will never get this moment back. I'll do my best to be interesting, but if I miss the mark, at least I'll be brief. So let me start with a story. This is my family's first introduction to this campus. My dad, being driven to Lewisburg, age 15, was looking out the car window of his father's brand new 1964 Lincoln Continental when he said, "Hey, Dad, look, there's a prison." My grandfather gruffly said, "No, son, that's your new school." Now, anybody that knew my grandfather knew that he was a no-nonsense kind of guy, very stoic, very serious, rarely smiled. He was kind of intimidating. But my dad truly earned that trip to military school in 1964. So to give this story justice, I have to tell you a little bit about my dad. My dad, Dr. Newell Jr., is an osteopathic physician that recently retired from daily patient care. Prior to that, I had the pleasure of working with him for almost 20 years. I've worked with him and I've seen him care for patients as well as teach students. He loves students. He served on our boards numerous times, different boards. But that's not what makes him special. He's special because he has a set of skills outside of medicine. He's a builder. He can build anything. In fact, he's built 2 cars and 3 different airplanes and flown them. And that's just a few things I'm allowed to talk about. So one day, my teenage dad designed and built a carbide cannon in the basement of my grandparents' home at the same time my grandmother was hosting a formal dinner party for the Republican women of West Virginia. Now, carbide was a chemical that was used in the mines. They used them in miners' lights to light the way. This was before good batteries. When it gets wet, it produces a flammable gas. And when you ignite it in my father's newly invented carbide cannon, it explodes and then produces a large cloud of black soot and smoke. Now, my grandmother, wearing a formal white dress, hears this house-shaking explosion and with impeccable timing, opens the basement door to be met with this black cloud of soot and smoke. So much so that it's rumored that it left an outline of her on the wall behind her. About a decade later, the osteopathic school was founded in 1972 by my grandfather, Dr. Donald Newell Sr., Dr. Carlton Apgar, Dr. O.J. Bales, and Dr. Frank Wallington. Now, I've got a theory. We're sitting in this beautiful conference room in Lewisburg, West Virginia. Why Lewisburg? Why not Charleston or the Eastern Panhandle? Could it be that one of the founders was very familiar with his campus through the shenanigans of his pyromaniac son? I can't prove it, but it's a work in progress. Though I didn't know the other founders personally, I do know that people tend to be very similar to the ones they hang out with. These doctors were all in similar circumstances, and though their portraits in the main hall show them as smiling, grandfatherly-like gentlemen, I believe they were fighters. See, they practiced a different type of medicine. It was a different environment. In modern medicine, we're used to the luxuries of call schedules and protected time off. Personal phone numbers are private. Their phone numbers were in the phone book. Do you guys know what a phone book is? You don't have to raise your hand. It's a big book put out by the phone company, sometimes yellow. It has your name and your number for everybody to see. They were on call all the time. In fact, my grandfather his initial job was with a coal company. He was a coal company physician, which meant that he was taking care of coal miners and their families 7 days a week. House calls were common. I have stories from my now geriatric patients that were delivered by my grandfather in their home, unassisted. There are stories of him arriving by horseback because of the deep snow. There's stories of him responding to a late night emergency in a bad part of town. While treating a patient, he became surrounded by several intoxicated and intimidating looking men. As he was pulling out his stethoscope from his doctor bag, he also pulled out a .38 Special, cocked the hammer, and put it on a mantle behind him. He said when he turned around, the only person left in the room was the patient. He delivered over 1,000 babies in his career. Now, in modern medicine, if I arrived in a snowstorm by horseback with a pistol on my side to deliver a baby unassisted in a cabin, that would make the paper. That would be an epic event. For my grandfather and the other founders, this wasn't being heroic. This wasn't newsworthy. This wouldn't be an epic event. This would be a Tuesday. There were countless stories of he and the other founders producing value for their patients while also fighting for their very existence as an osteopathic physician in West Virginia. See, the fight was mainly with MDs. There was a turf battle. Hospital privileges were hard to get. In fact, my grandfather was only granted hospital privileges after he was moving forward with the plans and financing for his own hospital. That same hospital that initially denied him privileges is now Plateau Medical Center, a critical access hospital in Fayette County that has over 18 DOs on staff. I was born in a doctor's hospital, a DO hospital in Tucker, Georgia, during my dad's internship. Now, there's a silver lining to competition and conflict. You can retreat, or you can be so good they can't ignore you. And that's what they did. They started producing value. Our founders got clear with their vision and their commitment. They recognized that they were losing DOs in West Virginia, and they started meeting on a regular basis to discuss options. My dad, then a college student, attended one of these early planning meetings in Wheeling, West Virginia. The 4 founders were there, as well as Dr. Roland Sharp, who later became our first president. My dad, listening to this conflict, raised his hand and said, "We ought to take him to court. This is a lawsuit. This is not fair." And Dr. Sharp leaned in with a quiet confidence and said, "We paddle our own canoe," which to me means we're going to stay in our lane. We're going to produce value. We're going to focus our efforts on where they make the most impact, the patients of West Virginia. And ultimately, that led to starting our school. These guys were heroes. They were tough, but make no mistake, they were also human, and I'm sure they dealt with fear and uncertainty. After all, they were staking their reputation, committing their time, energy, and significant financial resources to something new and innovative, something that might not work out. There's 2 ways to deal with fear and uncertainty. There's fear avoidance, which typically leads to paralysis, to procrastination, sometimes even addiction. And then there's courage. Our founders had courage. Now, fear and courage aren't opposites. In fact, Dan Sullivan, the founder of Strategic Coach, which is a business course for entrepreneurs, explains the difference between fear and courage. Fear is wetting your pants. Courage is doing what you're supposed to do with wet pants. It takes courage to start a medical school. I'm sure our founders felt fear, but they did it anyway. For you, it takes courage to start in medical school. You've committed yourself to something that's much bigger than what you were doing before, but you're doing it anyway. Do you know that there was over 5,000 applicants for your seats right now? For your 200 seats? Just the fact that you're here speaks volumes. Courage doesn't stop with admission to medical school, unfortunately. It's required in classes. It's required in rotations. Rotations are really cool. You can use the knowledge that you learned here in the first 2 years and you apply it in the real world. You're always in a new clinic, you're learning a new specialty, and you're learning a new office and routine. The challenge is you're always in a new clinic, you're always learning a new specialty and learning a new office and routine. Just about the time I got the routine down, it was usually week 3.5 to 4, then it was time to move on to something else. Courage was required on my first day as an attending. I finished medical school, went through my internship and residency, and started my practice in Fayette County. My first hospital patient was at Plateau Medical Center, and it was actually one of my dad's nursing home patients that was sick enough to be in the hospital. So I go in early Monday morning. I have the long white coat, I have the stethoscope around my neck, my hair is fixed, I think I smell good. I walk in and I wake Mrs. Jones up. Mrs. Jones, good morning. My name is Dr. Newell, and I'll be taking care of you while you're here at the hospital. She looked up at me, grabbed her sheet, and rolled over and screamed, I know Dr. Newell, and you're no Dr. Newell. I had to deal with fear and uncertainty on my first patient. So I saw the rest of my patients. I came back about an hour later, hand on her shoulder. Good morning, Mrs. Jones. My name is Dr. Ryan, and I'll be taking care of you while you're here. She looked up and smiled and said, that sounds much better. Courage is required to give this speech. I am the most comfortable in a small exam room with one other patient trying to figure out a medical problem, not public speaking. But I'm dealing with a fear, and I'm doing it anyway because it's important. It's important to tell the story, to understand the founders and where we got our start, to realize the commitment of 50 years of faculty and staff that's created this space for all of us. But most of all, it's important to understand your role. You're more powerful than you think. You're not just a student, you're our legacy. And the best thing I can do right now is to shine a spotlight right on that. Let me explain. Most of you look like college students. Some of you look like high school students. I'm showing my age. But not for long, you're growing. In a few minutes, when I sit down, you'll look like student doctors. You'll have the coat. The coat is powerful. It's a status symbol. There's perks to wearing the coat. But believe it or not, there's courage to wear it because there's higher expectations. Soon you'll be interns and then residents before you know it. Then as attendings, I'll have the pleasure of calling you my colleague. Some of you will be specialists in my area, and I will lean on you for your wisdom and your guidance for patients that are beyond my capacity to help. It's important to understand your role as healers. You have the opportunity to make a difference now. It just doesn't start when you're an attending, but as a medical student, as an intern, as a resident, you can contribute to patient care. On my wall in exam room 6 at Fayette Clinic, I have written, a man with his health has 1,000 dreams. A man without his health has only one. I may be biased, but I don't know of anything that's more important than that. It's also important to understand your role to contribute back to the school. Walking across the graduation stage in 1999, Dr. Olin Jones, the school's president at that point, leaned into me and said, come back to the school. Now, when a president says that, you say, yes, sir. What time? I didn't know what he meant. Did he need help tearing down the stage and the tent? There was a huge tent that day. Did I owe him money? I don't know. I now know what he meant. He meant our legacy wasn't complete with the action of the founders. It continues because of us, and it will continue because of you. Now, you might be saying, listen, that's all well and good, but I'm trying to get through this day. I'm going to walk through this stage, try to get my coat without tripping and falling, and then I'm back to my seat, and I'm going to review the Krebs cycle again. I get it. But you contribute to our school when you succeed. By passing your tests, successfully completing your rotations, and graduating, you honor our school and our legacy. When you go out into the world and you do something remarkable, you honor our school and our legacy. If you agree with me that money made ethically is the byproduct of value creation. Let me say that again, because everybody gets tripped up with money. Money made ethically is a byproduct of value creation. Then becoming rich and taking care of your family honors our school and our legacy. So what does that look like? The short answer is I don't know. My best advice is the same thing I tell my kids. I don't care what you do. As a medical student, it doesn't matter what specialty you choose, whether it's family medicine, neurosurgery, pediatrics. The only thing that matters is that you figure out how to be the fullest expression of you. That's what the world needs. So be you. Be the only one in the whole world. That's where the fun is without having to fake it. That's where the money is. You can name your price. And that's where the value is because you cannot be replaced. So just like our founders, acknowledge the fear, but stay courageous. Take care of each other. Have fun. and maybe stand a little taller, knowing that there's a collective effort behind you and that we are all standing on the shoulders of giants. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Newell. And now for the main event, our white coat ceremony. Will Dante Mattioli and Samantha DiMartino please approach the podium? And will the first row of students rise and approach the stage? And to all of the first-year students, congratulations. Enjoy this moment. Let it soak in and have a great day. Thank you.
Elias Adnan. Saida Akhtar. Bryce Akins. Christopher Alawa. Brendan Allison. Yusuf Almadoon. Kate Altman Chauffeur. Jahan Aman. Geisha Amin. Serena Angoni. Sarah Ansari. Amelia Abanova. Michael Arpezi. Zoya Aslam. Claire Atia. Samuel Alec. Oriana Velasquio. Alec Balon. Madeline Bash. Sarah Basame. Karandeep Bawa. Soren Beal. Stephen Bechtel. Kuhu Bahal. Rebecca Billikan.
Thomas Billikan. Kayla Boswell. Mary Brand. Vincent Brick. Andre Burianto. Alexander Bullock. Jacqueline Buttafuoco. Zanab Kalkatawala. Michael Carr. Michael Carter. Mackenzie Casto. S. Chandra. Danny Chen. Sanya Chabra. Anna Chero. Deepthi Chatila. Ahish Chauhan. Logan Christian. Jasleen Chumber. Bailey Kodum. Peyton Collis. William Colon. Lauren Coombe. Brandon Corridon. Matthew Kutira.
Wesley Cox. Alexandra Crawford. Haley Cruz. Mackenzie Curtis. Madison Dale. James Davis. Trevor Davis. Nicholas Denha. Jake DePaulo. Janithra De Silva. Madison Dietrich. Trevor Dew. Grace DeBari. Manissa Didakavi. Ryan Dodd. Morgan Dunmeyer. Chad Elliott. Catherine Ellis. Cyrus Falsify. Ali Faraj. Daniel Feldman. Emma Valeri. Reese Fletcher. Rachel Ford.
Mitchell Fornwald. Thomas Fox. Samuel Fuller. John Gallagher. Nathaniel Galloway. Isabel Gervasier. Margaret Gigi. Nina Graziano. Dylan Grimard. Christopher Gross. Hashim Habibullah. Brian Hall. Catherine Hamlin. Aubrey Haynes. Garrett Hartman. Islam Hassasna. Jude Hassoun. Emma Heckman. Jared Heller. Alec Henderson. Charlotte Hankey. Lauren Hoffpower. Kylie Huvetter. Rachel Hebler. Emily Huffman.
Ennis Huggy. Paige Hunter. Louay Hussein. Brantley Heyer. Nadia Igat Puriwala. Joseph Jabro. Jonathan Jansma. Angela John. Guinevere Johnson. Ashley Capinos. Suzal Kapoor. Muhammad Kashif. Morgan Keller. Ahmad Coker. Soreen Khorshid. Zoe Kirk. Nicole Lang. Stephen Lee. Gianna Ligori. Peter Lindholm. Richard Lorena Jr. Caitlin Lopes. Katie Lydick. Aman Malik.
Grace Markley. Josie McClanahan. Maureen McClellan. Dalton McCown. Ian McLeod. Valentina Minchero Manchado. Ryan Bang. Joseph McHale. Hannah Miller. Caitlin Miller. Cameron Mitchell. Kelsey Moeller. Jordana Malai. Emily Morse. Alexandra Molis. Hamad Magul. Harpreet Najee. Samir Nirya. Kristen No. Dee Tamlin. Olivia Nikolodakis. Joshua Olachia. Kevin Oliver. Jessica Orgavan. Renetta Osanava.
Sungin Park. Paul Pedalinghug. Adam Patel. Kushal Patel. Neil Patel. Catherine Peelish. Samira Perez Espinoza. Hung Pham. Summer Porter. Koshil Arvind Prasad. Blake Prescorn. Carrie Proctor. Daniel Proctor. Muhammad Razak. Jennifer Reed. Joseph Resch. Hassa Saeed. Bevan Sam. Caitlin Sachs. Amber Sharma. Brandon Silvis. Shiraj Singh. Alan Sissick. Thomas Scoff. Jessica Sloop.
Robert Snido III. Emily Sperber. Catherine Stolniker. Robert Straight. Claudia Studebaker. Anusha Sabati. Burke Taskin. Conan Tayeb. Dikshita Tella. Oran Trimble. William Underwood. Ka Van. Tyler Van Auken. Diana Vance Acosta. Mitchell Watts. Sydney Webb. Scott Wentz. Jacob Wilson. Zachary Wilson. Sabrina Wolf. Sarvar Aldu. Jonathan Yoder. Mariam Yosefson. Helena Zatowski.
Good afternoon, and congratulations, everyone. The white coat ceremony is one of my favorite days of the year. I always consider this ceremony as a threshold that you step over in the entree to your profession that you will be part of forevermore. I have always considered being an osteopathic physician an honor and a privilege throughout my whole career, and I hope you feel the same. Getting your white coat is the beginning, but getting to the end goal is hard. Class of 2026 has already experienced a little bit of that in your first course, and really glad that you did well in that. While at WVSOM, I am committed to create a kinder and gentler medical school experience during which you can work hard, learn a lot, but have enough breaks in your schedule so that you can retain your humanity and your spirit and keep that bright and avoid burnout. You're going to have a golden weekend this weekend, so enjoy the For parents and families, that means when students have an exam on Friday, they get the weekend off to rest and recuperate and recharge their brain and get ready for the next block of material. Parents, friends, family members, and those of you who are remote, Dr. Nimitz already talked about the important role of family and friends to support the students. You play a very important role in the success of our medical students. Fill their freezers with good food when you can. Give them space when they can't spend a lot of time on the phone. They really do have to study a lot. It's not like college. Help your student by sending words of encouragement and support whenever you can. And most of all, just listen. Even if you don't understand anything they're talking about because they're learning a whole new language now, just listen. It helps more than you can know. All of us came to medical school wanting to help others and serve. One of the ways that we are doing that today is by giving each of you a box of naloxone. That is a medication that can help save a life if someone is overdosed on opioids. Opioid abuse is a nationwide crisis with over 90,000 deaths per year, and sadly, West Virginia leads the country in the number of opioid deaths. So to help combat that epidemic, all of our first-year students have recently been trained in the use of naloxone and received their first box of naloxone today. They are now equipped to provide West Virginia with 200 more people ready to help in the case of an emergency. We were the first school in West Virginia to do this last year, and only the second medical school in the country to provide naloxone to medical students during the white coat ceremony. So we're very proud of that. And we are making this a tradition with the support and funding from our Center for Rural and Community Health, and we'll continue that until there's no more need. So thank you, students, for taking on your first responsibility as emerging doctors. I know it's hard to believe now, but I guarantee that these next 4 years will go by really quickly. And before you know it, we'll all be gathered here together in May of 2026 for you to receive your degree and begin your careers as osteopathic physicians. Members of the class of 2026, please rise for the oath of commitment. The oath of commitment is on the back of your programs for those of you who haven't seen it. And I'd like you to repeat after me. As I begin my studies at the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, I commit myself to a life of learning, compassion, and service, seeking always to contribute to the human and scientific accomplishments of medicine. Your turn.
As I begin my studies at the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, I commit myself to a life of learning, compassion, and service, seeking always to contribute to the human and scientific accomplishments of medicine.
I will accept the responsibilities and privileges accorded a student physician with humility, focusing the trust and respect of my teachers, colleagues, and patients.
I will accept the responsibilities and privileges accorded to a student physician with humility, fostering the trust and respect of my teachers, colleagues, and patients.
I will address ethical and moral issues openly and honestly, no matter how difficult they may be.
I will address ethical and moral issues openly and honestly, no matter how difficult they may be.
In all things, I will conduct myself with the utmost personal and professional integrity, knowing that I will be looked to for leadership in the community.
I will conduct myself with the utmost personal and professional integrity, knowing that I will be looked to for leadership in the community.
I understand that healing involves the body, mind, and spirit, and I will continually strive to become a physician who integrates all aspects of patients' life into their care.
I understand that healing involves the body, mind, and spirit, and I will continually strive to become a physician who integrates all aspects of a patient's life into their care.
I commit to a life of growth, to always expand my knowledge, and to strengthen my understanding of human health and behavior.
I commit to a life of growth, to always expand my knowledge, and to strengthen my understanding of human health and behavior.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2026. on a standing ovation. You can sit down. I look forward to getting to know you and work with you over the next 4 years. Following this ceremony, family and friends are invited to tour our campus and pick up a treat in the lower level of the Student Center as you enter this building. The stage will be open for pictures after the ceremony for the next hour for families who want to do that. So students, please remain in your seats until the stage party and faculty have processed out. And this concludes our ceremony. And congratulations again to the class of 2026. Please start the music.
Congratulations. Thank you.